All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday, October 8th. We've got two more MLB playoff games to jump into in today's video. Like we always do, we're going to go through each of these games. I'm going to give you my lean on the side. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props. We got a couple to send your way in today's video. But as always, guys, all of my final plays, so when I'm actually rolling with myself, when I'm actually gambling on myself, all of those plays are going to be in the pinned comments, so make sure to keep an eye on that. We go 4-0 2 nights ago, right? And yesterday, we bring home a nice 3-1 night. We were a couple Yankees runs away from back-to-back sweeps, but unfortunately that does not happen. But that Tigers, Guardians, Nerfy, that cashes. Matthew Boyd over 11.5 outs, that cashes. By the time I looked at it later on in the afternoon, it was at 12.5 outs. So I'm glad we jumped on it there. Like I said, Yankees team total doesn't come through. And then Vinny Pasquantino, under 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. I think he struck out a million times, so we love to see that. A 3-1 night there. That means last couple nights here, we're on a 4 plus 3, that's 7, mathematician over here, 7-1 run. Pumping some crowd noise for that. Let's see if we can keep that momentum going. I don't want to talk about NFL football. Monday Night Football was womp worthy, but we'll talk about that in a football video, all right? But guys, before we do jump into today's show, I wanted to shout out Prize Picks. If you have not checked out Prize Picks yet, today is the day to do so. It is Taco Tuesday over on Prize Picks. If you don't know what that means, I'll tell you in just a second. But right now, signing up for Prize Picks, they have a great deal for you. You play a $5 entry. Yes, just $5. There's no strings attached here or any funny business. You play a $5 entry, they're going to give you $50 instantly into your account. Just by playing, you're going to 10 extra money. If you win on that $5 entry, you still keep that profit as well. So it's a no-brainer. Go check it out. If you don't know what it is a player prop app. And Taco Tuesday, like I mentioned, they discount multiple squares throughout the day, so you have an even better chance of winning, hitting on those discounted squares and discounted lines. So go ahead and check it out. That link is in the pinned comment. It's also in the description, or you can sign up using code GUYBOSTON. Again, play $5, get $50 instantly. It's kind of an absolute no-brainer here. But let's go ahead and jump into game number 1 here. We got the Phillies taking on the Mets. So we were kind of right all around a couple nights ago, right? We had Bryce Harper over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. He sends one out. And then we had the Phillies on the money line. So we do love to see that. Today, these odds have moved around plenty. I've seen -110. This game's actually in New York, so we have Phillies, Mets kind of flip there. In fact, why don't we flip that one? There we go. All right, hopefully that worked. That probably looks so bad in editing. But nonetheless, we got the Mets here at home taking on the Phillies. In terms of who is on the mound for the Mets, looks like we're going to get Sean Manaea going up against Aaron Nola here. So, like I said, in Game 2, we saw a good one that the Phillies pulled out. We're yet to see many runs scored off the starters in the series. Even in that 7-6 game in Game number 2, we saw 2 runs through the first 5 innings. Game number 1, we saw, what, 1 run in the first 5? So my immediate lean here is to take a peek at the under in the first 5. You can get it at 4 for -120, or if you want to pay a little bit more juice, which we've been doing in these playoffs because these books are sharp, you can look at under 4.5 for -160. Now, can you make the argument that we've seen such low scoring first 5 so far that these two good offenses are due? I think so, but I do like both the starters in this spot. Like I mentioned, Sean Manaea going up against Aaron Nola. In terms of how these two teams fare, the Mets really have not been hitting righties all that well. In fact, last 30 days, now this is including teams that didn't make the playoffs, but they're dead last in terms of batting average against right-handed pitchers. So though the Mets have been crushing and going off and all that, it's like not exactly against right-handed pitchers. And then in terms of the Phillies against lefties, their numbers actually dip a little bit here versus lefties compared to righties. So I do think that we could see this sort of scoring drought in the beginning of the game continue. So I like the under 4.5 in the first 5 or under 4. In terms of a money line play, this Mets team definitely has some momentum behind them, but I really do think, and I have thought and maintained that thought, that this Phillies team is a lot better than them. Now, don't go jumping down my throat being like, oh, but the Mets. I know the Mets are like a fan favorite right now because of how electric they've been. And in some ways, it's kind of like the Tigers, right? Like, I'm kind of like rooting for them, even if I do bet against them. But to me, I see the way that the Phillies win that one in dramatic fashion in game number 2 there. They carry that momentum into New York. Take this one. Not saying they go out there and win 2 in a row now in New York and clean up, right? But I do think that they have the momentum to win this one. I like Aaron Nola better than Sean Manaea as well, but that's definitely an argument to be made. Sean Manaea has been really good at home, so give me the Phillies. But guys, this is a -105, -110, or -110 sort of pick'ems money line for a reason, because both teams have a chance to win this one. So though I'm on the Phillies, I'm not trying to really sell you on it. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. If I were to sell you on anything, I do think I like the idea of that first 5 under 4.5. And a player prop I like in this spot, I think we're going to stick with the hot bat here. Bryce Harper over 0.5 bases. Another juicy one, minus 160 on BetMGM right now. But it's minus 175 on DraftKings, minus 180 on 365, minus 179 on Caesar. So if we can get that 20-cent value on MGM, it's kind of an expected value play as well, right? Him going up against Sean Manaea, 10 plate appearances against. He has 3 hits, 7 total bases, 2 extra base hits. He's batting .301 against lefties this season, batting average of balls in play at .370. And then Sean Manaea against left-handed batters, his batting average jumps 46 points. His slugging percentage jumps 90 points, and his ERA jumps over 50 points as well. So I like the matchup. He throws a lot of sinkers. Bryce Harper has a .418 WOBA against sinkers. And again, we don't need his hits, runs, and RBIs. We just need Bryce Harper to get on base today, or to get a hit today, essentially, because I wish bases counted walks and stuff, but they don't. So we need him to get a hit today. All right, guys, before we get to the next game, RotoWire picks. What I like to do, especially on Taco Tuesdays, I grab my coffee and load up RotoWire picks. We'll get into it in just a second, but that is good. Let's go ahead and jump into it. If you guys don't know what RotoWire picks is, it is something that you're seriously missing out on here. We have it up on our screen. Link in the pinned comment, by the way, if you guys do want to check it out. But what it is, it essentially spits out the best valued and most likely to hit plays on these Prize Picks apps. You can also do it for normal sportsbooks as well if you wanted to look at DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM, all that type of stuff. But what this does is it puts in multiple sort of factors into a projection system. So what the DFS pick'em sites have the line at, what the sportsbooks have the line at, what does RotoWire project, and what has their hit rate been. What I like about this is their hit rate right here, right? It's a weighted hit rate. The hit rate is over the last 20 games, with recent games giving more and more importance. So yes, he could have hit 10 in a row, 10 games ago, but if he's been a little sporadic as of late, they weigh that and take that into account. So you can see here, based on the hit rate and based on what sportsbooks and DFS sites are throwing out there, which ones are most likely to hit based on more. We have more on the left and less on the right. I throw these into Prize Picks all the time. Like I said, it makes it simple. It makes me not have to do as much research. I do love the research, so this is part of the process. But if you're someone that's, flying around meetings all day, getting home late from work, and want some simple picks, head right over here and you can find them, and you guys have some more entertainment going on for the night. So go check out the RotoWire Picks app, guys. That link is going to be in the pinned comment. You can also find it in the description, but that pinned comment is going to be the easiest way if you guys do want better and more likely to hit plays going on over on your Prize Picks. So like I said, you could do it. Say you just have DraftKings, right? You can head over and see the DraftKings plays and stuff like that as well. So it's not just for Prize Picks. It's for every book and app out there. So go ahead and check it out, guys. That link is going to be in the pinned comment. Come on now, one more sip. Let's get some winning plays today. All right, moving on to game number 2 here. We got the Padres taking on the Dodgers. Michael King on the bump for the Padres, going up against Walker Buehler here for the Dodgers. He's been pretty good, 2.6 ERA over his last 5, but he does have his most recent start against the Padres, in which he pitched well in a 7-2 win for the Dodgers. 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run. He did just have 1 strikeout and 1 walk, but still efficient, 14 pitches per inning. How he faced against the Padres this season was decent as well. He pitched in San Diego earlier in the year, just under 4 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, like decent enough, right? For this, if this Dodgers team does go out there and bat well and have good offensive night, then we might be looking at a good spot here for Walker Buehler. I don't think it really compares to how good Michael King has been. He's got a .8 ERA over his last 5. His last start against the Dodgers was really good as well. 5 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. In terms of how he pitched against them before that, 7 innings, 11 strikeouts in a shutout performance. So Walker Buehler's been good against the Padres, but Michael King, you can make the argument he's been dominant against the Dodgers here in his last couple starts. So I do tend to lean that he's going to have a little bit more success, but at this price tag, like, are we either of these teams can win in the opponent's ballpark. We've seen that. They're rivals. We've seen it over time, right? You give me a chance at Dodgers for plus 130 in kind of not a must win, but a big type of a win game, stealing one from the Padres when the Padres took one from you. I think I'll sound the psycho alert alarm, but I'll lean towards the Dodgers here. Like I said, I do think Michael King is by far and away the better pitcher, but if you look at it from a bullpen perspective, Dodgers have the upper hand. Dodgers against righties better than the Padres against righties, even though they're both phenomenal, right? You're going to get the slider, the fastball, the changeup, and sinker from Michael King. Well, against the fastball, Dodgers fourth best in terms of runs, runs above average. Sinker, number 1 team in the league. Slider, 12th, so not all that great. The changeup, 15th or 17th, actually. So they're middle of the pack, right? Whereas Walker Buehler throws a plethora of pitches, one of his main pitches being the cutter. That's not exactly the best pitch for the Padres. They're 30th in the league. So I do think that this is a spot in which the Dodgers offense can kind of step it up. Even though I sounded the psycho alert alarm, guys, you know what I mean? Even though Michael King has been on absolute fire and he's pitched really well against this team, I do think that there could be some sort of elevation from this this Dodgers offense. So if this was sort of flipped, if the Dodgers were minus 120 and the Padres were plus 105, I'd probably be on the Padres. But for this price tag, I think the value is more or less on the Dodgers here. I think that, you know, this is a 50-50 game and we have plus 130 and beyond on one side for one of the best offenses, if not the best offense still left in baseball. So I'll lean in that direction. And I've talked a lot about offense, right? I don't think the Dodgers win this one in a close game. I think this has to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to lean towards the over. We've leaned towards the over and bet the over. We leaned twice and bet it once so far in this series, and it's hit both times. So I like the idea of a lot of runs being scored, and it's not necessarily, again, I gave Michael King his flowers, right? It's not to rag on the pitching or anything like that. It's like these two offenses have some pop. And what I mean by that is they're not going to dink and dunk around the field and score runs. No, they'll have a guy on second and hit a random-ass 2-run shot that all of a sudden makes this over more probable. And then next inning, a 3-run shot or a deep double into the gap. Like both of these offenses have that ability to kind of change the score within a matter of, 10 minutes. So I think that's why I probably end up leaning more towards the over in this spot, and you're gonna have good weather, no matter where you're playing, whether you're home or away here in this spot, right? I think we have like 69 degrees, nice, but 69 to 75 degrees here at 9 p.m. Just some clouds in the sky. Like, it's probably going to be really nice for some runs. But yeah, I'll lean towards the Dodgers as well as the over. No player props as of right now in this spot, but I am looking to add one in. So make sure to keep an eye on the pinned comment. I've looked at Higashioka. I don't think I'm saying his name right. I like his over 0.5 bases just because he's been on an absolute tear. The dude is averaging nearly 3 bases per game in his last eight games, right? So that's definitely a spot that I'm considering. I know he's better against righties, but I think Walker Buehler's really good against right-handed bats. So that could be a play that we roll with. But again, like, is he too hot that this is the time to fade him? Not necessarily sure. But guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's show. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you've made it this far into the video, go ahead and comment 13. We're almost at the 13-minute mark. Lucky number 13. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I mean, we're starting to turn things, for the better in baseball. We had a great regular season, and then the playoffs were literally like 1 win, 1 loss, 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 win, 1 loss. Now the last 2 nights of MLB have been pretty good to us. But yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint. I love the fact that we have one of those 50-50 nights and the guppies come out of the woodworks being like, I'm done with this channel, I'm done. It's like based on one loss, like not even a bunch of losses, like based on 1 win, 1 loss, you probably lost 0.02 units on the night, and it's like you're just so inconsistent. It's like, well, I tell you guys all the time, I'm just a gambler, right? I'm more of an average sports bettor than you think. But if you look at the track record, we've been pretty good, like whether that's luck or what. I mean, pretty good season. So I'm cool with, how we're kind of being conservative and slow rolling through these playoffs, because I truly believe that the playoffs, the books have less games to look at. They're more sharp, yada, yada, yada. Like, that's why we're rolling with a lot of quarter unit and half unit plays. I don't want to piss down my leg and ruin what we did in the regular season. Still want to pick up some wins with some of these half unit plays, but like, we did our damage. Now we just want to kind of chip away and make it even better. We don't need to dig ourselves out of a hole, which hopefully you guys aren't in that position. But guys, yeah, enough of that rant. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.